That tub sitting in your freezer right now might be hiding something dangerous. Vegetable oils replacing real cream. Chemical emulsifiers linked to gut damage. One brand on this list shocked even us, because almost every Australian over 50 trusts it completely. Stay until the end. We are revealing 4 brands that are actually clean, tested and worth your money. Coming in at number 10, Street's Blue Ribbon. For decades, Blue Ribbon was the ice cream of Australian summers. That rectangular tub in every family freezer. The brand your parents scooped after a Sunday roast. Streets has been making ice cream since 1930. Nearly a century of trust. That name alone feels like a safety net. But flip that tub over, read what is actually inside. Water is listed before cream, then sugar, then glucose syrup, then milk solids. After that comes vegetable oil, not butter, not cream. Vegetable oil in your ice cream. Then the emulsifiers. Additive for 7-1. Mono and diglycerides of fatty acids. Then vegetable gums, thickeners and artificial colour. This is not the ice cream your grandparents ate. This is an engineered product designed to look and feel like ice cream, while cutting every possible cost. Here is what most people miss. Streets is owned by Unilever, one of the largest multinational corporations on earth. In 2017, Unilever tried to slash factory worker wages at the Minto plant by up to 46%. The Australian Manufacturing Workers Union called for a national boycott. The company that built its reputation on Aussie summers was willing to gut its own workers to protect profit margins. Open that tub right now, scoop some out and let it sit on the bench for 10 minutes. Watch what happens. Real ice cream melts into a creamy puddle. Blue Ribbon holds its shape unnaturally long, almost like soft plastic. That is the vegetable oil and emulsifiers doing their job. The texture feels waxy on your tongue. The flavour disappears almost instantly. There is no lingering richness. No real dairy depth, just sweetness and then nothing. For seniors watching cholesterol, vegetable oil in ice cream means hidden processed fats your body struggles to metabolize. For anyone with digestive issues, emulsifier 471 has been linked in animal studies to gut inflammation and disruption of intestinal barriers. You thought you were buying a classic. You were buying a chemistry experiment wrapped in nostalgia. Has Blue Ribbon been in your freezer for years? Drop a comment below. At number 9, Peter's Drumstick. That classic cone. The chocolate, the nuts, the swirl of soft serve inside a crispy wafer. Peter's has been an Australian icon since 1907. Drumstick is one of the most recognisable frozen treats on the planet. Kids beg for them. Adults grab them at the servo without a second thought. But Peter's is no longer the family company it used to be. Peter's ice cream is now owned by Froneri, a joint venture between Nestlé and Pay Partners, a European private equity firm. This is not a local operation anymore. It is a global profit machine, and the ingredients reflect that shift. Read the drumstick wrapper carefully. You will find sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oil, emulsifiers 471 and 476, thickener 412 and colours including 150A, which is caramel colour produced through chemical processing. Additive 476 is polyglycerol polyresinolate. That is a synthetic emulsifier made from castor oil. It is used because it is cheaper than natural alternatives. The European Food Safety Authority reviewed it and set strict acceptable daily intake limits. Yet here it is, in a treat marketed heavily to children and grandparents alike. A 2019 George Institute report found that Peter's ice cream displayed 0 health star ratings on any of their products. Not a single one. Every other major snack brand in Australia had at least partial uptake. Peter's chose complete opacity. They did not want you comparing their nutrition panel to the competition. Unwrap a drumstick and smell it. That artificial vanilla hits immediately. Overly sweet, almost chemical. The chocolate coating cracks, but feels thin, waxy, not like real chocolate. The cone inside is stale before you even open it. For diabetics, one drumstick delivers a massive sugar and glucose syrup spike, and for seniors on blood pressure medication, the hidden sodium in the cone and coating adds up fast. Peter's built trust over a century. Froneri is spending that trust like loose change. Now, at number 8, we have Woolworths Essential Vanilla Ice Cream. Budget ice cream. A couple of dollars for 2 litres. Looks like a smart choice when the pension only stretches so far. That green and white tub sits in thousands of Australian freezers right now. But there is a reason it costs almost nothing. It is almost nothing. Read the ingredients. Water is first, not milk, not cream. Water, then sugar, then glucose syrup, then vegetable oil, then milk solids. Cream appears nowhere on the label. This product cannot legally call itself ice cream in many countries. In Australia, the labelling standards allow it because our regulations have not caught up with what manufacturers are actually putting inside. The minimum milk fat requirement for ice cream in Australia is just 10%. Woolworths Essentials barely scrapes past that threshold by using reconstituted milk solids, not fresh cream. Open the tub and look at it. Pale, almost grey-white. Real vanilla ice cream has a warm golden hue from cream and egg yolks. This looks like frozen paint. Tasted it and noticed the immediate sweetness, followed by an empty, hollow finish. No cream flavour, no vanilla complexity, just sugar and cold. The texture is icy, crystalline, gritty against your teeth. That is what happens when you replace cream fat with water and vegetable oil. For seniors with kidney issues, the hidden sodium and cheap mineral salts stress organs that are already working hard. For anyone watching their blood sugar, the glucose syrup creates a sharper spike than regular sugar. You save $2. Your body is paying the difference. But this is nothing compared to what is coming at number 5. Number 7 is Magnum Classic, that thick chocolate shell, that satisfying snap when you bite through. Magnum positions itself as luxury on a stick, premium Belgian chocolate, creamy vanilla ice cream. The advertising shows silk, gold, and indulgence. You are paying premium prices. You deserve premium ingredients. Right? Wrong. Flip the box over. The ice cream inside contains reconstituted skim milk, sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oil, coconut oil, milk solids, emulsifiers, vegetable gums, and flavouring. The chocolate coating lists sugar first, then cocoa butter, then vegetable oil again, then cocoa mass. Then emulsifiers, including soy lecithin, and that same 476 from castor oil. Magnum is manufactured by Streets, which is Unilever, the same corporation behind Blue Ribbon. The same cost-cutting philosophy in fancier packaging. A single Magnum Classic contains around 25 grams of sugar. That is more than 5 teaspoons in one ice cream bar. For a senior watching their daily sugar intake, one Magnum uses up nearly half the recommended daily maximum in a single snack. Hold a Magnum at room temperature for 5 minutes. Watch the chocolate sweat. Real tempered chocolate holds its finish. This coating develops a greasy, oily sheen almost immediately. That is the vegetable oil separating from the cocoa. The snap you hear when you bite is engineered. Cocoa butter alone creates a cleaner, sharper crack. This coating sounds right but feels wrong because it is blended with cheap fats to reduce cost. For anyone with heart disease, the combination of saturated fat from coconut oil and processed vegetable fat creates an inflammatory double hit. For seniors on statins, this works against your medication. You are paying for luxury. You are eating the same base formula as a $2 tub with a chocolate coat. The premium is the packaging, not the product. Number 6. Paddle Pop Rainbow. The childhood classic. Every Australian kid remembers the Paddle Pop Lion. That rainbow of colours swirling through creamy ice cream on a stick. But look at what is actually creating those colours. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry textbook. Colours 102, 110, 129, 133. Those are tartrazine, sunset yellow, allura red and brilliant blue. Tartrazine, colour 102, has been linked in multiple studies to hyperactivity in children. The European Union requires a warning label on any product containing it. That warning reads, may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Australia requires no such warning. Your grandchildren eat paddle pops without a single caution on the wrapper. Sunset yellow, colour 110, is banned in Norway and Finland. Allura red, colour 129, is restricted across multiple European nations. These artificial colours serve no nutritional purpose. They exist solely for visual appeal. The ice cream underneath is the same cheap formula: water, sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oil, milk solids, emulsifiers, and gums. Streets could use natural colours from beetroot, turmeric, and spirulina. They choose synthetic because it is cheaper and more shelf-stable. Your grandkids are eating petroleum-derived dyes for the sake of a rainbow. And the base ice cream contains just 6% milk fat. Peel the wrapper off a paddle pop, smell it. That artificial sweetness with a chemical undertone. Lick the surface and notice how the colour transfers to your tongue immediately. Natural colours do not behave that way. These synthetic dyes are designed to stain. for children with ADHD or behavioral sensitivities. These additives can trigger episodes. For seniors with compromised liver function, your body processes synthetic dyes more slowly. They accumulate. A childhood icon that Europe warns against, but Australia hands out without a word.
If this is helping you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free and it means you will never miss these exposes.
Coming in at number 5, Coles Vanilla Ice Cream, 2 litre a tub. Another budget option, another tub that promises creamy vanilla satisfaction at a fraction of the cost. Coles sources its home brand ice cream from contract manufacturers. You do not know who actually made it. The label says made in Australia, but there is no factory name, no facility code that a consumer can easily trace. The ingredients mirror Woolworths Essentials almost exactly. Water, sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oil, skim milk powder, cream at just 8%, emulsifiers, stabilizers, flavor and color. 8% cream in a product called ice cream. That is the minimum the manufacturer can include while still using the name. Everything else is filler designed to simulate what cream would do if they actually used enough of it. Here is what concerns food scientists. The emulsifiers used in budget ice cream, particularly polysorbate 80 and carboxymethylcellulose, were the subject of a landmark 2015 study published in Nature. Researchers found these common food emulsifiers altered gut bacteria composition in mice, promoting intestinal inflammation and metabolic syndrome. The study raised serious questions about whether these additives contribute to the rising rates of inflammatory bowel disease in Western countries. Australia's rates of Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis have increased dramatically over the past 2 decades. We eat more processed food with more emulsifiers than almost any other nation per capita. Scoop the Coles ice cream onto a plate. Press it with a spoon. Notice how it does not resist. It collapses like foam, not like a frozen dairy product. Real ice cream has density from fat. This has air and gum holding it together. The aftertaste lingers, but not in a good way. A slight chemical residue coats the roof of your mouth. For seniors with existing gut inflammation, these emulsifiers may worsen your condition quietly. Over years of daily bowls. You think you are treating yourself. You are feeding a problem. Stick around. The fix is coming at the very end. At number 4, Halo Top Vanilla Bean. The guilt-free ice cream. Only 360 calories per tub. High protein, low sugar. The marketing is genius. It tells you to eat the entire pint without shame. Instagram influencers posed with it. Fitness accounts recommended it. For health-conscious seniors, it looked like the answer to every sweet craving. But read what replaces the fat and sugar. Erythritol, a sugar alcohol. Stevia leaf extract. Prebiotic fibre from chicory root. Vegetable glycerin, cellulose gel and cellulose gum. These are not ice cream ingredients. These are ingredients from a pharmaceutical lab reformulated to taste like dessert. Erythritol dominated headlines in 2023 when a Cleveland Clinic study published in Nature Medicine found it was associated with increased risk of heart attack and stroke. The researchers discovered that erythritol made blood platelets more likely to clot. For seniors already on blood thinners or managing cardiovascular disease, this finding raised genuine alarms. Halotop's response was minimal. No label changes, no reformulation, just continued marketing as a healthy alternative. The texture gives it away immediately. Scoop Halo, top straight from the freezer, and it is rock hard. The company actually tells you to let it sit for several minutes before eating. Real ice cream does not need instructions. Once it softens, the texture is gummy, chewy, almost rubbery. It sticks to the spoon in strings. That is the cellulose gel and vegetable glycerin creating a fake creaminess that your mouth knows is wrong. The flavour is aggressively sweet, but with a strange cooling aftertaste from the erythritol. It does not taste like vanilla. It tastes like vanilla-flavoured medicine. For diabetics, the erythritol may not spike glucose directly, but it disrupts the gut microbiome in ways researchers are only beginning to understand. For seniors with digestive sensitivities, chicory root fibre causes bloating, gas, and cramping in significant numbers of consumers. The reviews are full of complaints. Guilt-free ice cream that sends you to the bathroom. One brand on this list was caught doing something most people would never believe. Keep watching. Number 3. Sara Lee Ice Cream, the American import that found a home in Australian freezers. Sara Lee built its dessert reputation on cakes and cheesecakes. The ice cream range trades on that legacy. Premium positioning, gold and black packaging. Names like French vanilla and ultra chocolate suggest European sophistication. But Sara Lee ice cream in Australia is not what you think it is. Sara Lee ice cream is manufactured under license. The brand name is American, but the production is local, contracted out to facilities that also produce budget brands. The ingredients list for Sara Lee French vanilla includes skim milk concentrate, cream at just 16%, sugar, glucose syrup, water, vegetable oil, emulsifiers 471 and 322, vegetable gums 410 and 412, and flavour. 16% cream sounds reasonable until you realise genuine premium ice cream overseas starts at 30% cream minimum. Sara Lee charges premium prices for mid-range ingredients wrapped in luxury branding. The vegetable oil is the tell. Real premium ice cream contains cream, milk, sugar, eggs and vanilla. That is it. 5 ingredients. When vegetable oil appears on a premium label, it means the manufacturer is substituting cheap fat for expensive dairy fat while maintaining the price point. You are paying for the name Sara Lee. You are getting a mid-tier product that costs half as much to produce as the price suggests. Taste side by side with a genuine premium brand. Sara Lee feels lighter, thinner, less rich. The vanilla flavour is one-dimensional, clearly from extract or flavouring, not from real vanilla bean. It melts quickly into a watery pool instead of a thick, creamy liquid. For seniors who associate Sara Lee with quality from decades of advertising, this is a betrayal of trust built over 40 years of Australian marketing. The name promises something the product no longer delivers. Most people never learn how to protect themselves from this, but you will if you stay until the end. At number 2, White's Bars. The Queensland icon, founded in Toowoomba in 1957 by Les Weiss. Mango and cream, coconut and passion fruit. Those bright fruity bars defined tropical Australian summers for generations. Les Weiss used real fruit, real cream, simple recipes. Then, in 2019, Unilever bought the brand. Everything that made Weiss special started to change. Compare the ingredient lists before and after the acquisition. The new Weiss Mango and Cream Bar contains reconstituted skim milk, sugar, water, glucose syrup, mango puree at just 12%, cream at just 10%. Coconut oil, vegetable oil, milk solids, emulsifiers, vegetable gums, flavour, colour and citric acid. 12% mango in a mango bar. 10% cream in a cream bar. The rest is sugar water, vegetable oil and chemical stabilizers. Les Weiss would not recognize what his brand has become. Consumers noticed immediately. Online reviews after the Unilever takeover are devastating. The flavour changed. The texture changed. The fruit content dropped visibly. Where once you could see and taste chunks of real mango, now the fruit component is a smooth, processed puree that tastes more like mango flavouring than actual fruit. The cream layer went from rich and thick to thin and icy bite into a currant Weiss bar. The outer shell cracks but feels artificial, like flavoured ice rather than frozen fruit. The cream centre is pale and watery. It melts on your tongue into almost nothing. There is no richness, no dairy depth. The mango flavour peaks and vanishes instantly. Old Weiss bars lingered. You could taste the fruit for minutes. This version disappears like it was never there. For seniors with type 2 diabetes, the glucose syrup and added sugar in the new formula create a sharper glycaemic response than the original recipe. For anyone with dairy sensitivities, the cocktail of milk solids, coconut oil and vegetable oil is harder to digest than simple cream. Unilever bought an Australian icon and hollowed it out. They kept the name, the nostalgia and the price. They replaced everything that mattered. Ever noticed how these brands keep being bought out but never getting better? Drop a comment. And at number 1, Connoisseur. This is the brand that claims to be the finest gourmet ice cream in Australia. Crafted in Australia. Made with fresh Australian cream. The packaging is sleek, dark and premium. The names are aspirational. Murray River, salted caramel, Kakadu plum, Daintree chocolate. These are not just flavours. They are stories designed to make you feel like you are buying something extraordinary. And at $8 to $12 a tub, you are paying extraordinary prices. But Connoisseur is hiding behind that beautiful packaging. Connoisseur is owned by Peters, which is owned by Fronerie, which is the Nestlé and PAI Partners joint venture. This is not an artisan operation. This is industrial ice cream with a marketing department that earns every cent of their salary. Read the tub.
The cookies and cream flavour contain skim milk concentrate, cream at 22%, water, glucose syrup, sugar, wheat flour, vegetable oil, high fructose syrup, invert sugar, wheat starch, emulsifiers 471, 322 and 476, vegetable gums, mineral salts, cornstarch, colours, and an antioxidant.
High fructose syrup in a product marketed as premium gourmet ice cream. High fructose syrup is the ingredient that triggered America's obesity epidemic. It is cheaper than sugar, sweeter than sugar, and metabolized differently by your liver. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation found that high fructose consumption increases visceral fat, the dangerousest fat around your organs, and promotes insulin resistance. Connoisseur puts this in their ice cream and calls it gourmet. The vegetable oil appears again. The emulsifier 476 from castor oil appears again. Antioxidant 319 tertiary butylhydroquinone is a synthetic preservative. Studies have shown it can cause nausea and delirium at high doses, and the International Agency for Research on Cancer has noted concerns about long-term exposure. This is in your premium ice cream. Open a tub of Connoisseur and compare it to a homemade vanilla made with cream, milk, sugar, eggs, and vanilla bean. The colour is different, the texture is different, the way it melts is different. Connoisseur feels engineered, smooth in a clinical way, not in a natural, rich dairy way. The flavour hits hard, then drops off a cliff. Real cream ice cream builds slowly and lingers. This performs like a product optimized for the first spoonful and nothing after.
For seniors on cholesterol medication, the combination of vegetable oil, coconut oil, and high fructose syrup actively undermines your treatment. For cancer survivors avoiding processed ingredients, this tub is a minefield of additives. For anyone who trusted that premium price meant premium quality, this is the biggest betrayal on the list. $12 for chemistry dressed as craftsmanship. What is the worst ice cream surprise you have ever found on a label? Tell us in the comments.
Now, go check your freezer right now. If you see any of these 10 brands, do not finish the tub. Do not wait until it is empty. Your health is not worth saving a few dollars by eating through something that is working against your body every single day. But do not panic. Not every brand sold you out. Some companies still believe ice cream should be made from actual ingredients you can pronounce. Remember earlier when I said that there were brands that actually got it right? Here they are, Bulla Creamy Classics. This is what ice cream should look like on a label. Fresh milk listed first, then fresh cream at 20%, then sugar, then water, then milk solid, 1 emulsifier, 2 thickeners, 1 natural colour from annatto. That is it. No vegetable oil, no glucose syrup, no high fructose syrup, no synthetic preservatives. Bull is family owned and has been making ice cream in Colac, Victoria since 1910. Over 100 years of Australian ownership, no private equity buyouts, no multinational parent company stripping costs. Open a tub of Bulla Creamy Classics, and the difference is immediate. The colour is a warm, natural cream, not bright white, not artificially yellow, just the honest colour of real dairy. Scoop it and feel the resistance. It is dense, heavy, full of actual cream fat. Taste it and notice how the flavour builds.
The sweetness comes second. The cream comes first. It coats your mouth and lingers. This is what ice cream tasted like before corporations decided profit mattered more than product. For seniors watching their health, Bulla contains recognizable ingredients your grandmother would understand. For families, this proves you do not need to spend $12 to get real ice cream. Bulla Creamy Classics costs around $4 to $5 for 2 litres. Honest ingredients at an honest price.
Golden North, the South Australian legend, making ice cream in Laura, a tiny town in the mid-north of South Australia, since 1923. Over 100 years of continuous family production. Golden North went further than any other Australian ice cream brand on one critical issue. They spent an entire year reformulating every product to eliminate all palm oil from their supply chain, not just the obvious palm oil. They tracked down every minor ingredient that contained palm oil as a sub-ingredient and replaced it. Total transparency. Total commitment. Golden North Classic Vanilla lists fresh cream, skim milk, sugar and glucose syrup. Their cream content sits above 20%. No vegetable oil, no synthetic emulsifiers, no artificial colours. The company also sources its milk from local South Australian dairy farms, providing direct economic support to regional communities that are struggling under the pressure of supermarket price squeezing. Scoop Golden North and you will notice how different it looks. Dense, rich, with visible creaminess. It melts into a thick, creamy pool, not a watery puddle. The vanilla flavour is clean and straightforward. No chemical aftertaste, no artificial sweetness, just cream, sugar and honest flavour. Earlier I promised you the solution. This is part of it. Choose brands that still believe real ingredients matter more than profit margins. Golden North proves a small-town family company can outperform billion-dollar multinationals on quality, ethics and taste. Norco Real Dairy Ice Cream. Norco is a dairy cooperative owned by over 200 Australian dairy farmers across New South Wales and Queensland. When you buy Norco, the profits go directly back to the farmers who produce the milk. No hedge funds, no European conglomerates, just farmers supporting farmers. Norco ice cream uses fresh Australian cream and milk as the primary ingredients. Their Cape Barren range earned a recommended rating from Choice in their 2025 taste test, beating far more expensive brands including Häagen-Dazs and Connoisseur. Clean ingredients, cooperative ownership and verified quality for around $6 per litre. For anyone who wants their ice cream purchase to support Australian farming families rather than offshore shareholders, Norco is the ethical choice. The cream content is genuine, the flavour is honest, and the farmers actually benefit. Alato Gelato. For those wanting something a bit more special, Alato makes authentic Italian-style gelato right here in Australia. Made with fresh milk and cream, real fruit, and no artificial colours or flavours. Alato uses traditional slow churning methods that incorporate less air than mass-produced ice cream, resulting in a denser, more flavourful product per spoonful. I told you earlier that one simple change could protect you. Here is what it is. Read the label. If vegetable oil appears in your ice cream, put it back. If the cream percentage is below 15%, it is not real ice cream in any meaningful sense. If the ingredient
List reads like a chemistry textbook, your body will process it like one. Choose brands with short ingredient lists, high cream percentages, and Australian family ownership. Your freezer should contain food, not experiments.
subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.